Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Gift of Gaming podcast. And on this week's episode, it's all about the February news. We're a little late getting to it, but we're here. Everything from the Xbox Shakeup to PlayStation no longer wanting to do PC games. It's all here on the Gift of Gaming podcast. Alright, it's me, your host, Darren Wade, and today I'm joined by the console-hating, PC-playing, retro-repping, lore-seeking, full-time Canadian himself, Chris Robbins. And for the first time on a news episode, we don't have the Steam Deck verified Luke Maycock, but instead, it's the man himself. Dan, I don't have a name for you on this podcast.
I'm not a recurring character enough to have a nickname of my own.
We can work on it.
Okay, well, we'll workshop it.
Yeah. As the episode goes on, we'll figure it out. Gentlemen, how are we both? This is the first time for this trio on the podcast in 3 years.
That is true. It's actually great. Doing great. Lovely to see you, Daniel.
Yeah, lovely to see you.
Oh, this is so nice.
Yeah.
Everybody getting along.
We're going to be very, very polite today. I'm going to bring the Canadian out of Chris, even if it kills me.
Yeah, in fairness, that usual Canadian trope doesn't really come out of you, Chris, too much.
Well, I'm not a nice guy?
No.
Okay, fair enough. All right. Fuck you guys too.
No, we jest, of course, we jest. Daniel, it's been quite a long time since you've been on the podcast. Tell me, and now I know I saw because I was playing the Switch yesterday, but tell me, what games are you currently playing? What's on your rotation?
Well, on the Switch, I've picked up Cyberpunk 2077 to see how that plays. I think I started playing this game not on the Switch, but in one of its either iterations, maybe twice or three times, and always ditched it. Never really got into it.
I had the same problem with the game, and when I finally it clicked. Oh god,
what
it's
clicked
fantastic.
for me is after I actually read the source material. So obviously, it's based on a series of books by William Gibson, Neuromancer.
Oh, I've read Neuro. Okay, so the whole cyberpunk motif is based on...
In Neuromancer, the whole story starts in a place called Night City.
Correct, yeah.
And in the other books, they talk about biochips with AI constructs on them, which is exactly the Cyberpunk 20. No spoilers. This happens in the first 3 hours of the game.
Yeah. And also the game's been out for years, so sorry guys.
There's definitely no Keanu Reeves in Neuromancer. But
if they made it today, there would be. There'd have to be.
Yes, that's true. But only after reading the books and kind of getting my mindset into, this is what they were trying to do, I really, really gotten into the game. And apart from that, on PC, I'm just back to killing Nazis on Wolfenstein. It's just so nice. Yeah. So in these troubled times, we can all get
nothing like
around
perfect
to
time for
killing Nazis.
Yeah.
Perfect time for it.
Simpler times. Chris, what about you? What are you engaged with currently?
I'm juggling a couple things. They actually both came out on that same day. So I'm playing Marathon.
Okay.
Yeah, the Server Slam did it for me. Wasn't sure at first, but after a few hours, it really clicked. I love the art style from the get-go, which is probably one of the most jarring thing for most people. They take one look at the game and just
I know Andrew's saying he really struggled on the Server Slam with the...
I'm the opposite, immediate appeal. And it's got this theme, very, very far future, very cyberpunk too, I would say. Or more Shadowrun, where you're kind of this operative working for all these corporations, trying to get information from each other.
God, Shadowrun. Deep cut.
Yeah, the original Cyberpunk, really. Well, also based off of Neuromancer, but fantastic game. But when I booted that up, I haven't played it as much as I wanted to, because when I started playing that, released on the 5th, I believe. I looked over to my Steam and I was kind of scrolling through the latest releases, and lo and behold, early access now available. Slay the Spire 2. And I was like, well, I'm not getting that.
Well, you're doomed now. Slay the Spire is probably one of your...
It's probably my most played game of all time. Yeah. Maybe Diablo 2 has a beat, but I play way too much Slay the Spire. And Slay the Spire 2 was already looking to be even better, which is crazy. So, yeah. That's been taking most of my time.
Nice.
To be perfectly honest.
I'm glad we've all kind of found games. I have, I say stumbled upon, but I was just curious about Pokopia. I'd seen the new kind of, what would you say, Animal Crossing Pokemon game. And I was curious about it, and I listened to some reviews, and everyone was raving about it. It is currently the highest rated Pokemon game on Metacritic. And I got into it, and I don't know if I'll ever leave. I don't know if I'll be able. I don't know if they'll let me leave, really,
highest
to be honest.
rated Pokemon game. I don't know if that says much, but cool.
No, fair. Yeah, no, fair.
I mean, the ratings say much, but yeah, as far as the actual quality of game, like
It's a like that's the nice thing about it, because I saw the trailer at the Pokemon showcase of Wind and Waves, and I was like, okay, so we're not talking exactly what I want, but at least it looks like a better quality of game than Violet and Scarlet was, because that looked like a hot piece of shit. But with this one, I'm playing it, and it's smooth as butter. It looks great. It plays great, and it's nice to be kind of playing a Pokemon game that the whole time I'm playing it, I'm like, well, I say a baby game. It's a builder. Animal Crossing is a baby game, but I loved it. And this one is just like setting up your habitats for your Pokemon, trying to find extra Pokemon, keeping everybody happy, building this world. It appears to be, as far as I can tell, a post-apocalyptic Kanto, which is quite interesting to fix that up. That's kind of like been slowly being alluded to for me at the beginning. I'm like, oh, that's a cool kind of idea that us the Pokemon are left. I'm like, where are the humans? And let's build it up and see what happens. I'm stuck. I'm in there. They're never getting me out. I've played lots and lots of hours of it, and I only got it Thursday. I've done the chunk in it already. Great game. Really
Thursday was a good fucking day for video games.
Pokopia, Marathon.
Yeah. Was Resident Evil that day too?
Resident Evil was a bit before that, I think. Yeah. Resident Evil was earlier than that. People have already...
But that was leaked. The whole game was leaked.
Yeah, early
crazy.
Early copies in the wild.
Yeah, I still claim...
Requiem getting great reviews.
Yeah, and I still claim that leaking doesn't really harm games. For anything, like, you know.
With the exception being, I think, and I say harm games, there was so much fucking horrible internet trash out there on it, but The Last of Us Part 2 had like a big story reveal very early on in the game, and people with early copies threw that out immediately. So loads of people had like a big story beat spoiled for them, I think. Which turned people were like, well, I don't want to play this game if that happens. Was kind of a lot of mentality there, but it's still fucking.
Are we still like being careful with spoilers for a game that's 6 years old? Yeah.
People watch
something that happens in the first hour of the game.
Yeah.
In fairness, I haven't played the game, but I know what we're talking about.
Look, whatever happens.
Joel dies.
Yeah.
Joel dies. Okay.
I don't think the problem was that Joel dies. I think the problem was that you actually had to play other characters, and your typical, let's call it what it is, male dominated gaming community just didn't want to play
two female
Ali and the other one that I can't remember.
Know. They'll turn around and like goon over Stellar Blade, so let's not pretend like they wanted a
male hero. The same thing happened with Ghost of Yotei. Ghost of Yotei got a lot of hate because they changed from Jin to whatever her name is. I'm sorry, I can't remember her name.
That is, oh my god, you're just part of the problem, Daniel.
Well, you know what? I gotta say that Sucker Punch really leaned into it because there was so much hate towards her being the protagonist in Ghost of Yotei, and in the game, every other character that you meet goes, a woman with a sword?
Yeah.
So it's like, I think they know what they did there.
Self-aware.
It's like Mulan.
She saves China, as Lauren would always say.
Ghost of Yotei happens in Japan. I'm just kidding. I'm just kidding.
All right, we're going to wires cross it down. So we have a good chunk of news to get through. We're a little bit late getting to the news episode. We're like already a week into March, just the way things fell. We have to get our Arc Raiders episode out of there. So we'll crack into it. And the first, I suppose, big news is that this is coming from IGN by Ryan McCaffrey. Phil Spencer retires, Sarah Bond out. Matt Booty promoted at Microsoft, and AI exec Asha Sharma named new Xbox boss. So let's just crack into this article. It's a bit meaty. But Microsoft Gaming CEO Phil Spencer, who has been at Microsoft since he joined as an intern in 1988 and with Xbox since the software giant launched its first console in 2001, is retiring. Sources familiar with the matter who are not authorized to speak publicly confirmed to IGN. Spencer's retirement is effective on Monday, February 23rd, so this has already happened. Meanwhile, Xbox President Sarah Bond, long thought by many both inside and outside of Microsoft to be Spencer's heir apparent, has resigned. The new CEO of Microsoft Gaming will be Asha Sharma, currently the president of Microsoft's core AI product. Finally, Xbox Game Studios head Matt Booty is being promoted to Chief Content Officer and will work closely with Sharma. Quote, I want to thank Phil for his extraordinary leadership and partnership, Microsoft CEO Satya Nadella said in an email sent to Microsoft staff. He continues, over 38 years at Microsoft, including 12 years leading gaming. Phil helped transform what we do and how we do it, end quote. Full emails from Nadia, Spencer, Sharma, and Booty are below. I don't think I've included these in the article, but Spencer, in his email to Microsoft staff, said in part, quote, last fall I shared with Satya that I was thinking about stepping back and starting the next chapter of my life. From that moment, we aligned on approaching this transformation with intention, ensuring stability and strengthening the foundation we've built. Xbox has always been more than a business. It's a vibrant community of players, creators, and teams who care deeply about what we build and how we build build it, and it deserves a thoughtful, deliberate plan for the road ahead. Today marks an exciting new chapter for Microsoft Gaming as Asha Sharma steps into the role of CEO, and I want to be the first to welcome her to this incredible team. Working with her over the past several months has given me tremendous confidence. She brings genuine curiosity, clarity, and a deep commitment to understanding players, creators, and the decisions that shape our future. We know this is an important moment for our fans, partners, and team, and we're committed to getting it right. I'll remain in an advisory role through the summer to support a smooth handoff, end quote. New Microsoft Gaming CEO Asha Sharma and new Xbox Chief Content Officer Matt Booty sorry. It's a weird part. Full stop there. Sharma is a former VP of Product and Engineering at Meta and former Instacart COO, who is also a board member of the Home Depot. She joined Microsoft in 2024. In her email to Microsoft staff, she wrote in part, quote, "My first job is simple. Understand what makes this work and protect it. That starts with 3 commitments. First, great games. Everything begins here. We must have great games beloved by players before we do anything. Unforgettable characters, stories that make us feel, innovative gameplay, and creative excellence. We will empower our studios, invest in iconic franchises, and back
They
bold new
could have
ideas."
hired anyone
Well,
off the street and they would have said those exact same things.
It doesn't really spark
Make
confidence.
good games.
Yeah, it doesn't really spark confidence when a person joins in 2024 and says, "I need to learn to see what makes this work."
Yeah,
Like,
and I guess, kind of, I suppose, for me, the big red flag here, although in an interview I think she said AI is not the path they're looking forward to it, getting someone in who was the head of AI product in Microsoft to come in to look after the gaming side of things just rings loads of alarm bells for me, I have to say. But sorry, we'll continue. She continues to say, "We will take risks. We will enter new categories and markets where we can add real value, grounded in what players care about most." I promoted Matt Booty in honor of his commitment. He understands the craft and the challenges of building great games, has led teams that deliver award-winning work, and has earned the trust of game developers across the industry. Second, the return of Xbox. We will recommit to our core Xbox fans and players, those who have invested with us for the past 25 years, and to developers who built the expansive universes and experiences that are embraced by players across the world. We will celebrate our roots with a renewed commitment to Xbox, starting with console, which has shaped who we are. It connects us to the player and fans who invest in Xbox and to the developers who build ambitious experiences for it. Danny, you're shaking your head at this.
I'm not shaking my head. I think I got eye strain from rolling my eyes too hard.
Gaming now lives across devices, not within the limits of any single piece of hardware. As we expand across PC, mobile, and cloud, Xbox should feel seamless, instant, and worthy of the communities we serve. We will break down barriers so developers can build once and reach players everywhere without compromise. Third, future of play. We are witnessing the reinvention of play. To meet the moment, we will invent new business models and new ways to play by leaning into what we already have. Iconic teams, characters, and worlds that people love. But we will not treat those worlds as static IP to milk and monetize. We will build a shared platform and tools that empower developers and players to create and share their own stories.
Did she not just say that they're going to invest in franchises and stuff like that? And now she's saying that...
Investing, but it seems like, so to me, she's saying all of the, I'd say, I'm making inverted commas here with my fingers. She's saying all the right things, but like...
It sounds like she's trying to hit as many targets as possible to make everybody happy. Yeah. Not say anything controversial.
Shareholders, you're going to be happy with this. Players, you're going to be happy with this. Developers, you're going to be happy with this. But what's interesting is what which way they'll go. Where we go. So we're getting through this. Booty said in his email to Microsoft staff, quote, "Looking forward, I'm excited to partner with Asha as our next CEO. Our first conversation centered on our commitment to making great games and the role that players have in our overall success. She asks questions, pushes for clarity, and wants our choices grounded in player and developer needs. The mindset matters as the industry around us is changing quickly. How players engage, how games are made, and how business models and platforms evolve. We've good reasons to believe in what's ahead. The organization as franchises have navigated change for decades, and our strength comes from teams who know how to adapt and keep delivering. That confidence is grounded in a strong pipeline of established franchises, new bets we believe in, and clear player demand for what we are building." End quote. Bond joined Xbox in 2017 following a stint as an executive at T-Mobile. But after both her parents worked in the telecom industry, Xbox's corporate VP of biz, I don't know what this is. This is a weird. I'm gonna just remove.
I
that
gotta
from the
say
article.
that her entire statement sounds like it was written by AI.
Hey. Just like, hey, how can I make this appeal to everybody at once? So this is the last thing, just a little bit on Phil. Phil Spencer was named head of Xbox in March of 2014 when he was tasked with writing a ship that had made a number of product choices and policy decisions that rubbed core gamers the wrong way in the run-up to the launch of the Xbox One in fall 2013. Long hailed by gamers as being one of their own, Spencer could frequently be found on Xbox Live playing games regularly with fellow Xbox gamers and racking up a healthy gamer score. His first major move when put in charge was decoupling the Kinect 2.0 peripheral from the Xbox One package, thus immediately reducing the new console's lowest price by $100 to $399, matching the day one price of Sony's PlayStation 4. He spearheaded the much heralded backwards compatibility movement with Xbox. Xbox Games Pass service was born under his watch, and accessibility made major advances during his tenure in both hardware and software. Xbox Play Anywhere, which sought to let gamers play their Xbox games on any device, be it PC, console, or handheld, isn't new, but it's been a big recent focal point. So it's the end of the article. So again, the passing of a torch. Luke said it a long time that he felt that Phil Spencer was just going to be the, what would you say, the whipping boy
for a lot of their fuck ups right now.
Yeah, and then retire, and with a big thank you because he did lots, but like let's kind of throw this all on him, let him leave, and we get a fresh, clean slate, which I think kind of at the same time Xbox severely needs. But again, you're one Ashley Sharma. I don't know anything about her.
Yeah, they definitely needed something to change. But Len, I want to be very clear. I don't think he voluntarily retired.
I think he was
You
kind of.
think he was retired?
Yeah, I think he was retired.
You reckon?
I was really hoping to be in an episode where there's conspiracy theories from Chris. I was really hoping.
It was also sudden, and the fact that his protege left too. I think she was pretty pissed off about how he was treated. I don't know.
Maybe her leaving and not but her kind of making her own exit, I think has raised a couple of eyebrows to people being like, what is going on behind the scenes? Because everyone thought she was the natural successor. Like, Phil was always going to leave at some point, and Sarah Bond steps in, and things kind of continue as they were. But the fact that she was kind of left, and then we've got some, I wouldn't say random, like, I don't mean to kind of, I don't know anything about Asha, but getting someone in from your head of AI product in Microsoft to come in to run the gaming thing, I'm just like, oh, is this another bad decision by Xbox? And like Matt Booty there talking about, I'm a big fan of her because she asks those questions. I'm like, of course she's got to ask those fucking questions. She has no idea how any of this works. Like, she's coming in from AI product. She's not got gaming behind her. So it's a weird one.
So just I think, what's her name? Asha?
Yeah, Asha Sharma.
She deserves a devil's advocate.
Of course.
Maybe it's good to have some new eyes and new blood, especially since Microsoft is going to basically retire the Xbox and go full PC console hybrid kind of situation.
Yeah.
So maybe it is good to kind of shake things up a little bit. Maybe she
fresh
will
pair
bring,
of eyes.
yeah, exactly.
And she has.
You need some new blood from time to time, you know.
I think, and I can't quote it directly verbatim, but there was an interview that she gave shortly after she was announced, and I think she kind of said that she doesn't want AI to have a big, which is interesting for the previous head of AI product in Microsoft to come out and say, we don't want AI taking a big place in the video game industry, and I hope that's right.
That's a lie.
Yeah, that's not going to happen.
Yeah, that was probably her whole platform on like applying for the job. It's like, I'm putting AI everywhere, and like all the executive board was like, yes,
but
that's
I wonder,
the word we want to hear.
No, so the executive board will say yes, but like, so this is again, and I'm just, I don't know anything about anything.
No, go on.
I'm just an average Joe, right? I don't think this is financial advice or whatever people say.
Tell us what you really feel, Darren.
Like, my thing about it is, Xbox as a video game company needs to work. They spend 60-odd billion on Activision, and they are absolutely paying the price for spending. One of the worst decisions I think the company made was to do that, but they have to, like, they can't just be like, oh, we're going to sunset, because I know there was some people talking about this is them slowly beginning to sunset Xbox. They won't do that because they've got way too much. They put 60 billion invest into Activision. They're not going to fucking close or begin to sunset the gaming thing. So they need to make it work. And I think from the last 6-7 years, lots of their decisions have made them worse off. No.
I don't know what you're talking about. I definitely did not do anything.
For the last 7 or 8 years, we're going to change that. For the last 5 or 6 years, however long it might be, they have made terrible decisions. And AI is one that the gamers have been so loud about not wanting. And I'm reading this article. I know she's trying to say all the right things, of course. But part of me is looking at being like, it's high time you guys kind of maybe turned your eye away from the shareholders a little bit, because just trying to keep them happy hasn't really made the whole thing grow in the way you expected. So maybe listen to what people are saying. And I'm hoping that her stepping in, they'll say, we need to make our money back from Activision. Let's kind of go and do what the gamers want us to do, which is less AI, more focus on actual real video games. And I hope they keep an Xbox console. Their next one, next article is all about Project, I think it's Helix or whatever. And they had mentioned that their next console is meant to be a premium console, like majorly expensive, and that's the kind of thing that I'm worried about. But I'm hoping they return to form and say we're going to make an Xbox. It's about Xbox, and it'll play your Xbox games, and it's affordable, and it's whatever else. Because I think that's because that's the thing. They talk about the people who've been in the infrastructure for 25 years. Those are the people who've made Xbox what it is.
Well,
and they're leaving them behind in a way, I think.
So, first of all, yes, sure, Xbox is Xbox, but it is Microsoft, and Microsoft is primarily PC, no matter how you spin it.
Yep.
Plus, Xbox has actively stopped making Xbox exclusive games. A lot of them are now on PC. I think Microsoft know that the whole landscape of the whole console war is changing. I don't think it's console war anymore. I think it's gaming versus, I don't know, TikTok and social media and scroll as quickly as you can. So they want to try and capitalize on as many platforms as they can.
Yeah.
So I think that's a smart move to try and branch out from just a console, just a PC, to everything.
Well, the other thing they have to be scared of, because it's not just the console war, there's kind of like the PC war going on now, because Steam has now invented its own operating system that is just, picking up momentum. It's getting bigger and bigger.
And their Steam machine, when it comes out, will
and
be essentially what Xbox wants to do, but they're going to get there before Xbox does, which will be a massive kind of another nail in Xbox's coffin.
And I know, like Microsoft we think of it as PC, but that like they're Windows, right? And Steam machine is Linux. Yeah. So if Linux becomes the more accepted and favorable operating system, then Microsoft is really fucked.
That's true. I don't think that the fact that Steam is going to get there first, and I don't think that it's not going to happen. Steam is going to get there first. I don't think that's going to overshadow whatever Microsoft does. It's just that if they do it right, then players will vote with their wallets. It doesn't matter.
Because we'll get onto that article next, but before I do, one of the things I'm interested to see if they do, one of our post-show news items is talking about PlayStation's kind of thinking about doing a U-turn on what they're doing with their PC ports for single-player games. Part of me wonders with this new
Isn't
setup,
that confirmed? They have done the U-turn.
Yes, I think so. I don't want to spoil that whole article, Chris, for the post-show. Do you know what I mean? I'm trying to lead into some tension. And
Join us on Patreon for the post-show, guys.
I have my own side Patreon where like I promise to squeeze give them all the information so they don't.
I was like, where are all my people
they
gone?
Pay me instead of you.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be fucking great, man. No, but one of the things I'm interested in is that this decision of Xbox to put it out everywhere, is that a decision that they'll rescind in the future? Because is there more value in them just letting their games be sold everywhere, or is there more value in them taking back those IPs and working with those IPs and stopping the kind of all of the terrible decisions they've made recently and going back to Xbox kind of 360 days? Do you know what I mean?
I don't know. I see a future where PlayStation keeps like pulling that shit where it's just like, no, we're not releasing anywhere else. Mm-hmm. And if Xbox gets its shit together, makes a good system, and they're just like, yeah, we're going to release our stuff everywhere anyways, that builds more trust with the consumer. So now the consumer is going to like invest in their product instead.
But why would they? Why would they invest in their products? This is the kind of thing, and it's why I worry about Xbox consoles' future. Why would you invest in Xbox, which will only let you play Xbox and PC?
Because better consumer practices. Because they're not doing shitty things like PlayStation is. So
in what way? Because I would have said that Xbox have done a lot more shitty things than PlayStation over the past 4 to 5 years.
What I said is that
Bloodborne Trigger.
If they get their shit together, that's apparently that's From Software's.
That was. We'll get into that. Yeah, that was from Software. Yeah.
But no, if like Xbox get their shit together and like release a really good console. Oh, wait. Sorry. What did you say? You think they've been doing worse things?
Yes, in terms of like with Xbox and closing studios all the time. And
what do you PlayStation's just as bad for closing studios.
I wouldn't say just as bad. I think Xbox has, in terms of their figures, are like, and we're going to get into it, PlayStation's closing studios. Everybody is. But I think Xbox's studio closure numbers, or the staff numbers, are huge compared to what PlayStation. Lots of the studios, and again, it's not a forgivable thing, but the studios that PlayStation have closed tend to be the smaller studios. Less numbers. Xbox has closed huge drafts of massive studios across the board since they took over Activision.
Agreed. Also agreed, because PlayStation is also moving towards PC. Final Fantasy, the remake, came out on PC. Spider-Man came out on PC.
They were moving towards PC, but now they're moving back. That's a post-show thing.
Oh, that's a post show.
That's a post show thing. God,
join us on Patreon to listen to the post show.
We'll get on to our next article, which is all about the next Xbox console, seeing as we're talking about that, Chris, if they can do that. But let's see. This is from Tom Richardson at BBC. So this is the BBC's picking this shit up.
This is a real article.
Yeah, Xbox confirms new console is coming, but can it revive the brand? Question mark. I don't know why I said question mark. It was very obviously a question. Microsoft's Xbox division has confirmed it's working on a new console, codenamed Project Helix. The company said the, quote, next-gen device would lead in performance and play both Xbox and PC games in a departure from its previous machines. Rumors have swirled for some time that the company, which upset some longtime fans when it began to release exclusive titles on rivals PlayStation and Nintendo Switch, would pivot towards a hybrid machine. Microsoft's new gaming chief executive Asher Sharma said the announcement was part of its quote, commitment to return to the return of Xbox as a brand. What is Project Helix? The Project Helix news was light on details but sparked big questions. Although the announcement hinted at a powerful next-gen machine, it didn't give any hint of its planned specifications nor reveal what it will look like. There was no mention of price, something that remains a big concern as prices of vital RAM and storage devices used in hundreds of electronic devices continue to climb. The component shortage will also raise questions about a likely release date, especially after Valve, the company behind PC game store Steam, had to revise plans to launch its own hybrid PC console earlier this year. It's also possible that Microsoft may leave manufacturing the device to another company, as it did with last year's Xbox-branded handheld console built by hardware company ROG. Xbox boss Sharma said more would be revealed when the annual Game Developers Conference, or GDC, gets going in San Francisco next week. Xbox's recent history has been turbulent, particularly since its record-breaking $69 billion purchase of Call of Duty maker Activision Blizzard in 2023. It was the last in a string of Microsoft studio takeovers, which included some of the game industry's most acclaimed publishers and developers, such as the Fallout maker Bethesda and Forza Horizon studio Playground Games. The Xbox division, like many other video game companies, has also announced several waves of layoffs, cancelled several major projects, and closed popular studios, prompting backlash from fans. It has leaned hard into its Netflix-style Game Pass, also available on PC, which allows players to download brand new and back catalog titles for a monthly fee. The service was called the best deal in gaming for consumers when it was first launched in 2017, but has raised questions over profitability and its impact on the purchase of full-price software. Long-term Xbox fans were also displeased when it announced it would begin to publish formerly exclusive titles on other consoles. However, opening up its catalogue to others did mean Microsoft, which also owns Minecraft, was the biggest third-party publisher on both PlayStation and Nintendo consoles in 2025. A recent earnings report, external made for less optimistic reading, recording a 9% fall in gaming revenue and a 32% drop in hardware revenue. The company put this down to a quieter slate of releases in the past 12 months, and it does have several big titles, including fantasy adventure Fable, coming in 2026. While some fans have declared Xbox is back following the Project Helix reveal, others have pointed out that the news isn't exactly a bombshell. In a post on Blue Sky, games industry analyst Matt Piscatella said Microsoft had been talking up new hardware plans for months. New gaming chief executive Sharma, who previously oversaw some of the firm's AI initiatives, recently took over for former Xbox Phil Spencer. On taking up the role, she said she planned a renewed commitment to Xbox, with console hardware at the center of the strategy. In the same statement, she also reiterated the firm's desire to follow its Play Anywhere strategy and make its games available on multiple devices. Former Edge magazine editor Nathan Brown, in his Hit Points newsletter, said it remained a mystery where Sharma planned to take the Xbox brand, but predicted a messy year ahead. Meanwhile, Xbox executive Matt Booty, who was promoted as Sharma's second in command, insisted the company was confident in its strong pipeline of established franchises, new bets we believe in, and a clear player demand for what we are building. It's as clear as mud what they're trying to do. Clear as mud.
I mean, it seems like they're getting ready to throw this Sharma woman under the bus as well.
You reckon? Based on
on what you just read.
Yeah.
Turbulent year ahead. If you want to point any fingers, we have a new head of gaming.
Yeah. It's like that. It's this whole push to have Xbox everywhere, but at the same time, we're going to invest tons of money in producing this premium style new Xbox console.
I think they're not going to beat Steam at it.
No, that's why my worry.
They're not going to. Like I just
they're not going
said
to integrate Steam into it.
No, they will, but they won't. Like if Steam is doing the exact same thing, building a hybrid console, it's like I just said before with consumer trust. People are just going to go for the Steam option because it's not Microsoft.
They know Steam, and people have hatred towards Microsoft, but this isn't a Microsoft issue because NVIDIA and Netflix, this is why I have it open here, are doing the same thing. They have their games library here as well. You can right now play Red Dead Redemption on your Netflix app. Download it and play it. You can play Football Manager 26 on your Netflix app. And I think that this is what Microsoft Xbox is trying to do as well.
Yep.
They're trying to create this library of games that you don't necessarily have to physically go and buy. Everything is cloud-based. You sit on the couch, you say, ooh, I want to play this game now. Boop,
But which was always their plan. But we've been
NVIDIA
talking.
is on record already saying this. Like, they want to start, like, you won't own a
you
computer.
won't own anything.
You won't even own your computer. You'll be renting computer power from them. And
this is what NVIDIA does right now.
Yeah. And like my thing about it is that for Xbox,
Is it NVIDIA? Yeah.
they have had. Well, we've been doing these news episodes for 3-ish years into our 4th year, and even before that, we would have had chats about, this cloud-based thing that Xbox wants to go for. And our big worry was like, is the technology there to do it? Stadia tried it; it wasn't really like fundamentally successful. It had loads of issues. We're kind of still there. I don't know if the technology is there for Xbox to do this.
Google also gives up at the first sign of turbulence. Like, they're just like, oh.
They definitely with Stadia, because I remember in terms of the license, the games that were in their library, they definitely bit off more than they could chew. I remember scrolling that library being like, oh my God, Google, you've got to get better shit than this, you know?
Usually with Google, their problem is that their product is great, but their PR is so terrible. And they just probably jumped on a bandwagon before it was a bandwagon. And then once they failed, everybody else looked at them and said, oh, we can do better.
But it's interesting is that, like, because my thing, and everyone laughed at me purchasing Stadia, which I totally accept. But I got all my... I got all my money back, and I got a free Foundation's Founders controller. So I'm happy.
It's just a badge of dishonor.
But the thing about it failing, like, yes, Google like kind of exited out and they quit. But like, to me, it was a thing that could have worked. The beginning of this whole, because I played games and yes, the connection was poor, and you needed X amount of internet. But I was like, this is cool. I can just open up my laptop. The Stadia connects to this app straight away, or the controller connects to this app straight away. It's very handy. But the problem was the experience in the gameplay wasn't great. But I don't think that's massively, like, I mean, Xbox is saying play anywhere. You're looking at Netflix, the games that they have on that to play, Red Dead Redemption, a game that's years old, Football Manager, a game that doesn't take that much processing power to play. You're not getting your God of War Ragnaroks or your Last of Us 2s or your Fables on your streaming services, you know?
I'm going to push back. This isn't really gaming related, but the whole Netflix WB deal that fell through was... Netflix wanted to purchase WB not only for their shows, but also for the gaming company. Their plan was to merge the WB gaming company with their platform in order to have access to all this DC, Batman universe, whatever WB gaming is doing. That was their main, I think at least, that was one of their main issues with buying WB. And again,
you said that fell through?
Yeah, it's Paramount.
Paramount did a hostile takeover. I think it's bad news too.
I thought they turned down Paramount though.
So they turned down Paramount originally because they felt, or the executives at WB had told their shareholders that the Netflix deal was a better one, but WB kept, or Paramount kept pushing and pushing and pushing to the point where it became a hostile takeover, kept open the bid, and Netflix was like, actually, we wanted this if it was good value, we don't want this at any cost, so we're pulling out, and it's gone to Paramount. Now, there's loads of repercussions for this because, A, do Paramount care about the gaming side of things? Do WB games all fall to bits? Now, this is what it said. I mean, I don't think Netflix, I mean, I'm interested, I find your point interesting, but for me, when I heard that, I just thought that was bad news across the board, be it Netflix or be it Paramount, that it was always going to be bad news for WB Games. Because to me, Netflix isn't, yes, it's got some games on their streaming platform, but to me, they didn't strike me as a group that was going to really...
I don't know. We had this argument already, but I feel like WB Games can only get better because they're fucking dropping the ball, man. They're
Hogwarts Legacy, great game. I really enjoyed Hogwarts Legacy. I know it wasn't fantastic, but I really loved that game.
But even since then, it's been steady decline.
Yeah.
And in regards to what you said about Netflix, originally Netflix was just, we're going to buy all these, let's call them IPs from different production companies. But now Netflix is a production company. That's how it changed. And I think they really wanted to get into the gaming industry as well, because they see that gaming is something that you end up spending a lot of time on. And if you go through their platform to get to play your game, they get a cut for it as well.
And I think, like, I mean, and I'd like to think that they were doing it for all the good reasons, but I think much like Stadia, much like any group that's come to the table recently to try and get into video games, it's way harder and way more expensive to get your foot in the door than I think these companies realize. And it's all this, we'll go in and we want the quickest way to make our buck back, which is live service games, which isn't working for the industry. So generally speaking, I think these big takeovers, buy-ins to be like, oh, we'll get involved in the video thing, they're not really great for the industry. Because, like, I guarantee you Paramount will come in with this purchase, we'll get a headline of loads of staff in WB Games losing their jobs, studios closing down. Guarantee it with Paramount, because they're immediately going to be like, well, we spent X. I mean, I don't know how many billions. I don't know what the deal was at the end.
$111 billion.
They're immediately going to need to make some of that money back, and the first thing that will suffer, I think, from Paramount's perspective, is video games. Unfortunately,
I agree with you. 100%.
I think it's fitting if Netflix got into video games, because Netflix like replaced Blockbuster and all that shit.
They replaced how we watch television.
Yeah.
So it just makes, I honestly think it makes sense that they would replace how we play video games as well. Or Xbox.
Yeah.
If they're going through all this joint console, PC, TV business with a Helix, whatever it is. In the past several years, we've changed how we play video games anyway. Forget about the cloud stuff. There's way more online co-op. There's way more buying games online over the cloud.
Digital
you don't
stuff,
own anything anymore.
Even the physical stuff.
Yeah,
you buy,
once
a case or something.
Once a console disappears, all your games disappear. How many games have I bought for the Wii U or the Wii? I don't have them anymore. They're all gone. I have to actively connect it. I don't know if my Wii U is working anymore. They're all gone, all of this. You don't own anything. And I really feel that this is what they want to do now.
Oh, big time. Which is why I'm always, I mean, I know people laugh at me buying physical copies, but it's why I'll always invest in physical copies of games, because I think it's like the last, stronghold of us actually being able to own. To some degree, with Netflix, you just get a fucking code that you input, so you still don't get a physical copy of the game. It's still done online.
Nintendo,
materialism. Woo!
Nintendo. Nintendo's the same way.
Yeah, no, exactly. That's what I mean. Like, yeah.
You said Netflix.
So sorry. I meant to say Nintendo. Yeah, where you just get this code. And I suppose with PlayStation games, you get a disc to install the game, but the game is still updated, all of it online, even with physical copies. So yes, yeah. So that is what's happening with Xbox. We wait to see. Project Helix, more news incoming. Maybe this is
that's what we were talking about.
Yeah, right. Maybe this is good news for Xbox, or maybe it's just more of a decline. The jury's still out for me. We'll wait and see. On to other news, though. This is happier news. Diablo 2's Warlock puts something truly new in a really old game.
It's a fucking banger, too, man.
This is coming from Ollie Welsh from Polygon.
And Chris.
And Chris, yeah.
I wanted some sort of good news on.
No, it's okay. I read this and I was like, I think Diablo 3 was probably the last one I played. I haven't played Diablo 2 in years and years.
Brutal.
Yes.
Awful.
Yeah, it was bad. This doesn't happen every day. Last week, Blizzard announced and Shadow dropped a new class for Diablo 2, Resurrected. It's a remaster of the classic action role-playing game from 2000. The Warlock, which comes in a paid expansion for Resurrected called Reign of the Warlock, is the first new Diablo 2 class or new content of any kind in almost 25 years. On the face of it, Reign of the Warlock is a stunt for Diablo's 30th anniversary celebrations, as well as an extravagant bit of marketing for Diablo 4, which also gets a Warlock class in its next expansion, Lord of Hatred, in April. Mobile game Diablo Immortal will get its own version of the Warlock later this year, and pity poor Diablo 3 players who will get absolutely nothing for the 30th anniversary except the satisfaction of knowing that they're playing the secret best Diablo game, of course. I guess this is very much an opinion piece by Ollie. Maybe he really likes Diablo 3.
Sounds like that Sharma is doing all the right moves.
Reign of the Warlock represents a lot of work for a promotional stunt, though. It doesn't go as far as adding a new act to the game's storyline, controversially considering its $25 price tag, but it's a whole new class with fresh skill trees and new bespoke itemization, voice lines, and visual effects. From what we've seen, it's quite distinct in its design from Warlocks in Immortal and 4, and it comes packaged with new endgame mechanics, interface updates, and quality of life improvements. Whether or not it's worth $25, this is an honest-to-goodness expansion for a 26-year-old game, and its release, which somehow remained unspoiled, has left the Diablo 2 community completely stunned. Why did Blizzard go to the trouble? I suspect the answer is hiding in plain sight. During Diablo 30th anniversary spotlight video, developers mentioned twice for emphasis that Diablo 2 has millions of players, and that the response to Reign of the Warlock is good. Further major updates are on the table. Simply put, the game seems popular enough to be a going concern. Concern's a weird one, and also provides Blizzard with a line of defense against Path of Exile and other action RPGs that tried to keep the spirit of Diablo 2 alive while Blizzard modernized the series in its sequels. But this puts Diablo 2 Resurrected in the odd position of moving the game forward when its original mission was to preserve a beloved classic as it was. Quote, "We don't want to mess up the Mona Lisa," lead producer Matthew Cedarquist told Eurogamer. Fortunately, Blizzard has experience in exactly this area. World of Warcraft Classic maintains multiple eras of the game, so you can play it as it was at launch.
Whoa. Wait, sorry. Say that again?
World of Warcraft Classic maintains...
World of Warcraft, okay. For some reason, I heard Warcraft 3, and like they dropped the fucking ball with that remaster. Like it was bad, but World of Warcraft, yes, that one is good.
So yes, you can go back to them on 2 separate expansion progress tracks or in novel remix modes like Hardcore and Season of Discovery. Following this model, Reign of Warlock exists as a siloed era of Diablo 2, so purists can still experience the game without such modern bastardization as stackable gems or a loot filter if they want to.
The inventory changes are worth the $25 alone, man. It's so welcome.
This cuts both ways. The Reign of Warlock era doesn't allow you to switch back to Diablo 2's original graphics as the base era of Resurrected does. Now, there's a good chunk of the article where Ollie is talking about what the Warlock is like to play. I'll kind of pass by that stuff. Is just kind of more in-game stuff about the expansion. But he goes on to say, it probably would be impossible to create a Diablo 2 class in 2026 that feels completely authentic to the game. In a video commenting on the Reign of Warlock, Chris Wilson, founder of Path of Exile developer Grinding Gear Games, noted that the main reason this Warlock doesn't quite resemble an OG Diablo 2 class is that it doesn't have any bad skills. And his supposition that the class was reverse engineered from a desire to put Warlocks in Diablo 4 rather than grown organically out of what would be right for Diablo 2 has the ring of truth about it. All the same, Diablo 2 Resurrected's designers have achieved something unique and remarkable. The Warlock is neither a throwback nor an anachronism. It exists in Diablo's anachronism. Yeah, thank you for being here.
Don't even know what that word is.
Yeah, I have no idea. Dum over here, me. It exists in Diablo's past, not just in terms of the story canon, but in terms of game design too. The class is shaped around design precepts that endure, but that nobody, not even Grinding Gear Games or the many other non-action RPG originalists, would implement in exactly this way in the here and now. Yet, within that context, it's thrillingly new, with an originality and an interesting friction to it that stem from the design team's imagination, as well as from the weird circumstances to the class's making. Will Blizzard expand this fascinating experience into its logical next phase, creating a new story act for Diablo 2? That would really be something, but the Warlock is a rare treasure as it is. Chris, our Diablo 2 guy, do we now see Diablo 2 just taking off and more updates and DLCs and all the rest?
I don't think they're going to keep cranking. I think there is rumors of a 6th act that might get released. Yeah. But that was supposed to be. I think that was supposed to be along with the Warlock. So who knows if it ever actually happens? But yeah, it doesn't really need to. The fact that we just even got an update after like
25 years.
It was pretty much shadow dropped. Like
the
excitement. Like, I got into work and one of the managers, he's like an OG like me for this game. He like ran right up to me. He's like, "Did you hear the fucking news?" I was like, "Yeah, I heard the news." He was like, "I don't know, man. $25." He's like, "Shut the fuck up. We've been playing that game for 25 years. It's worth the money." I was
yeah.
I was like, you got a point.
Does that say? Because when I first heard this and the fact that like, oh, we're going back to Diablo 2, millions of players.
Diablo 2 is the best action RPG game of all time. Path of Exile is pretty fucking good too, but like.
But does it
Diablo
tell us
is a
something?
Return to form.
And we know there's something wrong with games as they're developed nowadays. But the fact that they're returning back to this and putting, hey, let's go make a DLC for a game that's 25 years old because there's still millions of people playing it because the games that we provided since then are so poor.
Diablo 4.
Yeah, that's what I mean. It's like cool that you're doing it, but is that not like? Should you guys not sit back and say the next Diablo game we need to make needs to make sense?
They've tried, and there's not really any point in making another attempt anymore because after Diablo 2, Diablo 3, like they went in a weird direction with them where like after Diablo 2, if you wanted like a progression for that type of action RPG, it'd be Path of Exile. Like Path of Exile feels like the true sequel to the Diablo series or the true progression.
Mm-hmm. So what do you think? Do you think that it's a problem in that we as gamers, as a community, aren't willing to move away from the old and embrace the new? Or do you think that it's a problem in that these developers, the new is just crap?
The new is just crap.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm willing to like still play the new, like, and it's not just like all the news crap. Like I said, Path of Exile 2 again, Path of Exile as well. Or Grinding Gear Games, I should say, just released Path of Exile 2, which Yeah, there's a lot of people that are like fanboys for the first one, and the first one is great, but I think Path of Exile 2 is a strict upgrade to it. So they are making new games and they are improving, but like sometimes those classics are classics for a reason. There's a reason that like people will go back to playing them or still playing them after 25 years.
Were you a Diablo player at all, Daniel?
Oh, I played some of the Diablos, yeah.
The first one, probably. The
I
first
played-
one was
I
on
pl-
console.
I actually played them all, but I never actually got like really deep into them. The last one we played Diablo 4 because it's like a couch co-op, so it's nice to just do that. I don't think they want to make a new Diablo game. They're earning great money from Diablo 4, the season things that come out. Again, I don't play it. I don't know what's happening there.
Yeah.
But I know that they're getting a lot of money from it. And then
They're trying whaling.
if they see that people like, oh, they're still playing this game, can we make money off of this game? Why not? 25 quid from a million players. What was it that you said?
Yeah, well, I think it said millions.
Millions
Yes.
with an S. Then $25 from each one of you guys that are still playing this game. That's easy money. Is there no mods for Diablo 2? You should know that probably.
I don't know in the current state of it. Like old school, because they remastered Diablo 2.
Oh, so it
So
probably
that might
didn't
not,
translate. Yeah.
Might not know. But like the old ones where like you had like disk installation and stuff, like you could do some pretty nutty stuff.
So I'm just automatically suspicious when someone puts out an expansion for a 30-year-old game.
This is my next question to you, Chris. Are you concerned that they will ruin the character of Diablo 2 if this catches on? They're like, well, let's actually develop Diablo 2 some more. Are you worried it might fuck with what the greatness of what that was?
What works?
No, I think because of how crazy and dedicated Diablo 2 fans are, they'll get pretty vocal about it. And like some even got vocal about this, but at the same time, like they did this so well that we were just like, most of us were like,
but
awesome.
like you talk about, just because fans get vocal doesn't mean that shitty decisions aren't made. I mean, fans got vocal about almost every decision that Xbox made, but they continued on that line. Final Fantasy fans got very vocal about the Square Enix distancing itself away from what made Final Fantasy truly great, and Expedition came out and everyone was like, you idiots, this is what you should have done.
Then the fans won't buy it though. That's the thing.
Yep. Fans will buy it.
But what if...
Or they won't if they don't like what they released. Like even now, if you don't like any of the expansions, you can go in, like you can make your character and you can choose like which iteration of the game he comes in. Like when they talked about reverting those graphics, like if you're one of those people that like play with the old school like 12 pixels, you could just roll back to Lord of Destruction. You won't have the option to play the Warlock or anything, but you will have that option.
Yeah, okay.
To revert.
So to play the game as it was intended is still an option for people, regardless.
I don't
if
know
they go
why
down this
you'd
road.
want to. It's so bad, especially on like newer monitors. It's awful looking. It's fun for nostalgia. It was like, oh, we've come a long way, but like I'm not playing like that. It gives me a headache, man.
And I always think that this is why they do it. I told you that the other day. They just love selling you nostalgia. People will buy it.
Oh man, yeah. Hook that shit up to me, please.
Pokemon Red and Green.
Yeah.
They're reselling it for €20.
Bought it.
There you go.
But the thing is,
here's the problem right here.
I am shocked that they only charge €20. I am shocked.
It's
I
why.
thought they were
It's
gonna
why.
charge a lot
Yeah.
more.
If it was anything above that, I would have been like. I mean, I say anything above that, I would have been like €21.
No,
he
you would have paid
He would
40
pay it,
for
yeah.
sure.
No, I definitely wouldn't, because I mean, I have one of those weird Game Boy things that have some of those games in it.
Okay.
I don't think it's got Fire Red or Leaf Green, but I never played those games. So when I saw it come out, I was like, okay. But it was a sad thing for me from nostalgia, because I was like, oh, look at that, all the great Pokemon games, but you're going to make us pay for all of them. Like
Crazy
none of
thing
them
is,
are
like,
coming out for free.
Pokemon's a great example of, pretty good example of being the best. Like the Pokemon they've been giving us these days are so bad.
Terrible
games.
That's apart from Pokopia, which is the sponsor of today's episode.
When I say Pokemon game, I'm talking about like the main line, like the red, blues, the gold, silver.
Oh, yeah.
Although gold and silver is pretty close to
Red and blue for sure.
yeah.
But
But
I have
like
to say
the originals are by far the best.
Waves and Winds.
Yeah.
I'm kind of low-key excited.
So this is the thing. I had a good conversation.
I love a little doggo fire Pokemon.
Yeah.
I'm big into the gecko.
And it
dude.
looked better, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah,
But
it
this is the
does
thing,
look much better.
It looked much better, and this is the funny conversation that I was having with Craig about this, because we're both lovers and haters of Pokemon as a series in terms of where it's at. But the interesting thing is, like, we look at that being like, "Whoa, here we go, we're finally getting it," and it's just a marginal improvement. But we have been so starved of marginal improvements from the Pokemon company that when they give us a game, and like this game looks good, but it still looks 10 years behind some of the other shit that we're playing. That we're like, "Look at this, and we're back, everybody," and we're like, "We're kind of back." You
I
know?
know that this isn't the news article that we're talking about,
Yeah.
but on the PlayStation State of Play, they did showcase a Game Freak.
Yeah.
Oh, the Monster
Game.
Hunter looking game.
Yeah.
And I was
Yeah.
like, what the hell are they doing?
Yeah.
Why are they giving me the same game over the past 20 years? Just slap a new Pokemon, slap a new duck on it that can also shoot fire.
Duck-
This one is Ghost Ground, and it's a chair. Woo!
Why and even in the game trailer and of the new Game Freak on PlayStation 5 there, one of the character there shouts, "It's evolving." I'm like, what are you doing?
Yeah.
This was supposed to be the Nintendo thing.
It's-
Why are you doing this?
It's almost as if when they were making that game and putting that little piece into the trailer, they were like, "Oh, how can we annoy loads of fans?
twist the dagger there.
Turn the rage bait up to 11. Let's go." Like, you know. No, it is interesting in terms of, we had this conversation loads about Pokemon and that, like, and it's because I think that's Game Freak with another studio. I don't think that's Game Freak by themselves doing that game. I can't remember what it's called, but I'm interested to see what they do, and I'd love for that to be successful so that someone could go to Nintendo or the Pokemon company and say, "Guys, if you're willing to invest more money, we can do a Pokemon in not exactly the style, but we can improve on it to make it sell to like because we've always said, I want a modern day Pokemon.
But you
Pokemon's a bit
still
darker.
buy the latter day Pokemon, you know?
So I haven't. The last Pokemon game I bought, aside from Pokopia, was Sword and Shield. And when I bought Sword and Shield, which I think is maybe 3 generations ago now, I don't know if it was generation 7 or 8. But Sword and Shield, for me, I played that game and I was like, new Pokemon shit. And and then I saw Scarlet and Violet come out and I was like, it's actually getting shitter. I don't know how this is possible, but it's actually getting worse. So Wind and Waves might bring me back. But I think, listen, there's a post show out there about how much we think Pokemon's dropping the ball.
And just for the price of a cup of coffee, you can join us on
Patreon.com
for the
/Gift a Game. And there you go. Nice. Yeah, so good that you're here. We'll get into I'm going to read these 2 articles side by side because they're about studio closures, but it's more of a chance for us to chat about live service games as a topic. And then we'll need to kind of...
I have some choice words for this.
Let's go. All right, so this first one is coming from Rebecca Valentine at IGN. This is PlayStation shuts down Demon's Souls Shadow of the Colossus remake studio Bluepoint Games. PlayStation shut down Bluepoint Games, the studio behind the remakes of both Shadow of the Colossus and Demon's Souls. This comes from Bloomberg, which confirmed the news with PlayStation. Roughly 70 employees are going to be impacted by the closure when it officially occurs next month. Bluepoint Games, quote, "Bluepoint Games is an incredibly talented team, and their technical expertise has delivered exceptional experiences for the PlayStation community," end quote. This is what a PlayStation spokesperson told Bloomberg. "We thank them for their passion, creativity, and craftsmanship."
Goodbye.
Yeah. According to a previous report by Bloomberg, Bluepoint was working on a live service God of War game up until January of 2025 when the project was cancelled. The studio then spent the last year pitching new projects, but ultimately was shuttered before it could get one off the ground. Bluepoint was founded in 2006 by former Retro Studios employees and proceeded to work on a number of PlayStation games, including several collections of existing games, such as the God of War collection, Metal Gear Solid HD collection, and Uncharted, the Nathan Drake collection. It also served as support studio on ports of games like PlayStation All-Stars, Flower, and Titanfall. But Bluepoint's claim to fame was its 2018 remake of Shadow of the Colossus, followed by its 2020 remake of Demon's Souls, both of which were highly praised by critics and fans. It wasn't until after Demon's Souls that Sony acquired Bluepoint in 2021. Under Sony's management, Bluepoint did some co-development work on God of War Ragnarok, but otherwise did not release or announce any new games. We will get on to that. I'm going to go on to our next one, which is also another short article. This is from game developer by Brian Francis. Wildlight Entertainment has announced that troubled live service shooter Highguard will go offline after March 12th. Developer Wildlight Entertainment has announced that Highguard, the troubled multiplayer live service shooter that debuted at the 2026 Game Awards but struggled to gain momentum after launching a month later, is going to be put permanently offline. In a statement shared on X, the studio confirmed the game would no longer be playable after March 12, 2026. Quote, "Since launch, more than 2 million players stepped into Highguard's world. You shared feedback, created content, and many believed in what we were building. For that, we are deeply grateful. Despite this passion and hard work of our team, we have not been able to build a sustainable player base to support the game long term. Servers remain open online until March 12th. We hope you'll jump in with us one more time to show your support and get those final great matches in while you still can." The remaining developers at Wildlight will release one final content update this week before turning out the lights. The studio was reduced to a core team after laying off most of the staff 2 weeks after the game's debut. It's unclear what this means for the future of Wildlight Entertainment. Highguard's unveiling, ascent and fast decline has been a constant point of conversation across the game industry since it was announced. Details about the game's secret 10-cent backing and a potentially flawed development process have shed some light on why the game endured a lackluster debut. But too many questions remain about what could have gone differently for the ambitious game. We lost Bluepoint because of a stupid God of War live service game, and Highguard was a stupid live service game.
But this just echoes what we started talking about with the Xbox, how with Microsoft, how they just closed down companies and developing studios. PlayStation is doing the same thing.
I think it's under a different context here for Bluepoint, because the problem I have with Xbox was that they were buying massive big companies that cost them billions. They need to make some money back. So successful studios were losing. Now, we'll talk about this about Bluepoint in a second. Successful studios were losing, even though their games were being great. They're like, I'm sorry, we've got to close it. It's just not, even though it's successful by all of our metrics, it's not successful enough. PlayStation made an active decision to go, what was it, under Jim Ryan, they said, we're putting out 12 live service games over the next 5-6 years. That was announced back in 2020. And of those 12 live service games, Helldivers 2, one of the successful ones, and Marathon. They're the only 2 remaining of that 12. The other 10, we don't know
Marathon
who it's
Is this successful yet? Or is this just
So
the first 2 weeks successful?
It's very well received. It's often compared to Arc Raiders, which is unfortunate because Arc Raiders like hit some heights that are 1 in a million. Like you'll never replicate what they did with Arc Raiders. That being said, Marathon is still a good game. We just like the internet is bloodthirsty right now. They shut down Concord before it even had a chance to build a new traction. They did it again with Highguard. And don't get me wrong, they could have been bad games. I think we forced the hate a bit too quickly. And the problem now is like that same mob is coming after Marathon. Although I think Marathon is in a better spot because it is a good game if, you take the time to actually give it a shot.
So the reason I say, because they had all these failures, was one of the ones that they had in the mix was a Last of Us multiplayer, which was canned early on. So Naughty Dog moved on to
12 live service games, even if they were all successful. Like, this is going to be kind of contradict myself. Even if they were all successful, they can't be all successful
because they'd be playing against each other essentially.
Exactly. The fact that I have 2 live service game like Arc Raiders I still love, but now I have Marathon too. Like I can't balance them both, especially when you got like battle passes and shit on the go. Like you really have to dedicate yourself to 12, one fucking game.
I think with the 12 there was assumptions that not all 12 would make it, and you hope that maybe one sticks. But the fact
is this a good financial decision?
No, it's a terrible financial decision, and the reason being is that you put Concord cost Sony 200 million and they made none of it back. They made literally none of it back, and I don't know if it was 200 plus because they had all this at work, because Concord was meant to be this thing where they were going to release a weekly animated update for it. They had a whole storyline with these characters,
and I wasn't too keen on that then because I just didn't care about Concord. It always kind of looked like Kirkland brand
Guardians of the Galaxy. 100%, yeah.
But now that I'm playing like Marathon, and one of the big pulls for Marathon is kind of like that, like
off-brand.
No, they're just drip feeding you this like lore that like I fuck with. Like I want to know more of the story, and I'm thinking back to like their plans for Concord, and I was like, oh, I wish they were doing that for Marathon, where they were giving us more like little
but they can once the game is fun to play. I think Concord's problem was that people were like,
well, yeah, you can't plan it right from the jump. So if they do start because they got that guy that was in Love, Death, and Robots, he's done a couple episodes. He did that one big trailer for Marathon, which was an absolute fucking banger. Yeah, like if they get like artists and stuff to do like little non sequitur stories for like each of the shells or like corporations, I'm fucking into it, man. I'm for it.
And I think, like I said, they want it to be the next. Everything wants to be the next Fortnite, essentially, because Fortnite's just a license to print money for Epic. But it's this idea, like you look at what they did with it's such a terrible decision to go down that line, because we'll talk about Bluepoint. Bluepoint was a game that was remaking old games and very successfully at it. And everybody, like, we've known about Bluepoint on the podcast for years, because especially since 2018, because I was a lover of Shadow of the Colossus, and that looked amazing in the 2018 remake. People were very happy with what Demon Souls looked like and how it played and everything like that. This is a great another one. And then it became
Silent Hill. Didn't they do the Silent Hill?
I'm not quite sure they were behind Silent Hill.
No, that's Blueberry something.
Bloober.
There you go.
Yeah. So they have.
I remembered it was some sort of a berry.
But they had. This Bluepoint began this thing where it's like, oh, wait, these doors have opened to say all these old games that we want. There's a studio right there that can do them. And PlayStation went in and bought them in 2021. And when they did that, I was like, okay, fine. I'm not overly a massive fan of studio acquisitions, but I'm like, well, PlayStation, they've been making good old PlayStation games remakes. I'm like, it's the kind of perfect pairing. But then they go to them and say, sorry guys, we know you've got these plans for remakes, but we're going to give you this we have this live service God of War Ragnarok game. Do you know the way you guys have never worked on a live service game and you guys do remakes? Well, forget about everything you know. We want you working on a live service God of War game. You're like, well, okay. So the first problem there is, it's like asking a mechanic to, I don't know, bioengineer a cure for a virus or something like that.
Isn't this the exact same thing that happened with...
That's not. There's two... Dinah's giving me looks. But it's like, it's asking people...
No, it's just confusing, but okay, I get what you mean.
Right. What wasn't a perfectly eloquent point? But what I mean to say is, you're asking people to do this. There's point number one. Point number two is you made the decision to make them do this, which is not what they're meant to do. Then you made the decision to cancel this because the other ones weren't working. But why does the studio have to close because of that? Why can't you just say to them? And the worst part is that everything since this announcement is they have spent the last year going up to them and saying, we've got this idea for a game, we've got this idea for a game, we've got this idea for the game. And PlayStation's like, nah, we're just going to close you down now. It's like, you fuckers. Because had you never have bought Bluepoint, they could sleep there as an independent studio getting IPs to remake that we all love and enjoy. And it might not be gangbuster money.
I don't understand what's stopping them from doing that, though.
Because PlayStation owns them and PlayStation closed them.
Okay, so they don't own those people. They can't say those people never work. They could just band together and start a new studio.
Yeah, I mean, really easily said, but maybe not so easily done.
To open a studio, it's a lot of money. You have to have a game. You have to generate some interest. It's not like, oh, we opened a game studio and we're just gonna
call them
bring it.
Bluepoint Point 2.
Bluepoint 2.
Bluepoint 2.
Yeah. I mean, like, but easy said than done. Sorry.
My problem with this entire thing is that it feels to me like gaming has gotten into their casino era. You take these bets on 12 live services and see what it's like the spaghetti test for games. It's so frustrating. And several years ago, I remember there were a bunch of gaming execs who said, oh, we are going to step away from narrative games because clearly the online services bring so much more money. People are not interested in narrative-based games anymore. We're going to do more of that. And it just blew up in their faces. Yeah. And it's so frustrating to see that because small studios like that are going to end up paying the price for it because the bigger studios, Sony, Xbox, whatever, they want a money printing machine in the form of Fortnite, and maybe what was that game? Super Democracy,
Helldivers.
Helldivers. Sorry. So Helldivers was 1 in a million. Arc Raiders 1 in a million. But the rest of them, how many are closed? How many aren't closed? They're still kind of fumbling around with, I don't know, 10,000. Is 10,000 players a lot? I don't know. I don't know any of that.
I don't know in terms of statistically what you need to be able to keep it going.
Chris is doing the fact check mission here.
No, I just because we're talking about numbers, and there was an interesting number with
but
Slay the Spire. I think it hit it's only in early access, and it hit 250,000 active players.
This is exactly
Steam.
My point. You get those small games. Maybe indie-based games. Maybe double 24?
24-hour peak is... So it's within the last 24 hours, it was at 526,793 active players on Steam.
And this is a game...
Early access roguelike deck building game.
And this is a one-and-done kind of game because you pay it... and it's yours, and you get to play however much you want.
And that's the thing about the we're getting into the value for the game because I'll compare this to the other huge game right now, which is Resident Evil Requiem. Slay the Spire is $20, infinitely playable. Resident Evil Requiem Great
70,
game.
70, 80
70,
bucks. Yeah.
$80. You play it once.
You're done.
Maybe 12 hours. Never going to play it again. It's hard for... That's a tough pill to swallow
But
for me.
But it's a different type of game that
Yep.
you're playing, because if you go for Resident Evil, AAA, of course, there's a new one from them, Pragmata,
Yep.
coming up. It's probably going to be this in the same vein of it. It's like I try to equate it like going to the movies to watch, Darren's here, the new Marvel movie or whatever.
Woo!
Yeah, because it is beautiful and it is story driven and narrative driven, and you go and you sit down and you binge watch a season of this and you're done. And it's fine if that's your cup of tea. Slay the Spire 2, it's a different type of kind of game that they offer you, because there's the replayability, it's roguelike, you build decks, whatever. I'm sorry, I didn't play it. I just vaguely remember Slay the Spire 1. So I just think there are different types of games for different types of people, while Capcom, for example, I don't think... Did Capcom ever do like a live service game?
No, they've only done kind of what would you say,
Street
like,
Fighter.
fighter passes, yeah.
Fire Pass, okay, but not like an MMO type.
No.
Pay for
if you were to look at developers right now, I think Capcom is MVP at the minute. The amount of stuff they're cracking out, and it's all good. Like, it's all good, and it's
again,
all
they're
consumer friendly.
they're so focused on their narrative gameplay, I think, anyway. Plus, they're bringing a Mega Man. You must be super excited about that.
I'm pretty stoked about new Mega Man. Yeah.
So I just think that if there was a
Taking a long
world
time to
where there
make,
was
though.
room for both things to exist, while they don't shift all this attention to this online gaming stuff, and then just failing one after another after another.
But you said it, you just gave the numbers for Slay the Spire, and you were talking about Resident Evil. Both those
Check
games,
Resident Evil.
very different games. But what I mean to say is, the game is good. Like, that has to be the core of what you're doing, because a lot of these companies are stepping in being like, we want to make money. How do we make money? This is the recipe, if you look at Fortnite, to how to make money. Okay, make that game.
Okay,
but you don't have people sitting back and being like, I have this great idea. I've been sitting on it for years. I love this part of gaming. I love this genre. Let's go into that. And that's how you get, like, you look at Arc Raiders. Arc Raiders was live service game, but one that Embark was very confident on the idea. They were
very confident about Highguard too.
Who were?
They were that studio. They were convinced. Jeff Keighley. They were convinced it was going to be the next big thing. But I thought it was going to be amazing.
But I don't know.
I can't
how.
argue. I can't even argue against
You can't
it.
predict these things.
I know, but I can't even argue
Arc
against
Riders
it.
worked and Highguard
Exactly.
didn't. You don't.
No. So I can. This is what I mean with Highguard as the example. So live service games, I think they are possibly saturated in the market. Hero shooter live action games are that market is completely and utterly full. Like, forget about it. Why you'd even attempt to
I
go
don't
into
think
that?
that's true at all.
If it's not true, why is every hero shooter since Overwatch failed? Overwatch, the first one.
Didn't Valorant?
Valorant is
pretty good.
Valorant is, I think,
Valorant's
hosting.
doing huge. Marvel is
Yeah, the
huge.
Marvel
Which Marvel one is doing huge?
The one that is
Overwatch.
Yeah. What's it called?
Oh, Marvel Rivals.
Yeah, there you go.
I mean, yes.
That was huge.
Is it still huge now, though?
Yeah.
Okay. Maybe a second.
Marathon is doing good. I don't.
Marathon,
if anything,
Marathon is new. Marathon is new. I don't think. I don't think you can predict what's going to happen with Marathon right now.
But look at what you've named the successful ones, right? Let's say in the past like 5 or 6 years, these are all the successful hero shooter games that are out. There's plenty of them. There's also loads of failed ones. So you're talking about a market that's incredibly difficult to break into.
I don't think that's oversaturated and compared to like the non-class based shooters, which is way more saturated.
Like which?
Call of Duty, Battlefield.
But they're all failing as well. Like, Call of Duty's failed, Battlefield's failed. Like, I'd agree. I think that's saturated, but I think the evidence is in, the proof is in the pudding. Battlefield has dropped off. Call of Duty was considered shite. And after that, you've got...
so you're just saying shooters in general is oversaturated?
No, I'm saying that if you're someone like the team behind Highguard, they kept saying, hey, we're the guys who did... what game were they in before? That was their big selling point, that they were the guys... Was it Apex or...
It was Apex and Titanfall.
So they came in and be like, hey, we're former employees of these great games. That was a big selling point, which to me isn't enough. I'm like, okay, you came from a great studio, but now you're setting up
Titanfall is huge.
But it was
Titanfall
huge.
huge,
Titanfall hasn't
But the thing
been huge
is,
in a long
like
time.
everyone was like, why didn't you guys just make Titanfall 3? Because they can't.
Well, no,
Or they don't want to.
No, it's in they.
Well,
can't.
they're a new
They want to
studio.
do something new. Yeah.
So they can't. But my thing is like you're a new studio. The risk in the gaming industry is huge at the minute. What game do you feel like making? Okay, I've got it. We'll do this 3-person team in a massive open world hero shooter. You get horses to ride this empty plane where nothing happens for ages, and we've got a really kind of unique but a mode that we didn't explain very well called raid mode, where you go and you got. It's like, guys, this game has to be fucking excellent because the concept of it is so like
The concept never clicked with me. But did you play it?
Yes.
Oh.
Hated it.
Oh, I didn't
Are
play
we
it.
still
Oh, I didn't
playing?
play it.
Are we still talking about
Highguard?
Yeah, I actually didn't play it, so that's why I'm saying I can't really
The world was insane.
make an opinion on
But
the
what
game.
I mean to say is you're putting a game into a heavily, what I would consider a very heavily saturated market. If you're doing that, the game needs to be concise. It needs to be one that pulls you in. It needs to be attractive. It needs to be, and it needs to have something different. And they went so different that they're like, here's this big open world where there's no PvP on your journey to meet these other players, but you got to ride around on a horse and mine shit and loot weapons for ages while nothing is happening. It was boring. It was drab. I was like, ugh, like, and this was the end. Like, I mean, Jeff Keighley came out and that didn't help them either. The whole big hype.
there was a lot of
They were
fumbles.
lifted up to fail. Their original
yeah.
plan was to shadow drop that game out of nowhere and maybe for it to be a big hit. But because it was at Jeff Keighley's end piece on the Game Awards, people were like, the next greatest, biggest thing, which played against them. They never should have had it appear in the Game Awards.
I just randomly Googled notable failures in the past 2 years. Yes, you have your Highguard, your Concord, Hyperfront.
I don't know.
Yeah,
You know?
closed 2023. X Defiant. Closed
yeah.
June 3,
that was
2025.
Extractions shooter.
Gundam Evolution. Closed November 2023. Supervive. Sorry, I don't even know what that is. Warhaven. Closed 2024. Rocket Arena. Closed 2024. Lemniscate. What are these games? The Cycle Frontier.
And there's just so many of them.
What are these? Where are they? Who
They're
are
on.
they?
They're on PC. Like, yeah.
But you're
PC
talking,
has
and that's
so many fucking games. That you
And
guys,
these are your
they come and go and you
shooter,
guys-
gunner,
This
blah,
is my
blah
problem.
games.
There's too many of them. And if you're going to start off as a new studio to come out with your game, and I know for the guys behind Highguard, it was a bit of a pet project. It's not exactly that Sony came in or Microsoft came in and said, we want to make loads of money, make us this game, as opposed to something that they loved. It's a bit different for them, but it's also like, guys, what are you, like, look at the market. Everything this far has failed. You need to be one in a million to do this. Why are you taking that risk? And they're great developers. Like, don't get me wrong, the game played well. It was just boring. It was really, really boring. And I was kind of like, I don't know why you do this.
Like,
You liked it.
Highguard, I didn't like. I didn't play. Sorry, I didn't play Highguard, so I have can't form an opinion on it.
No point of reference.
But the original argument was like striking gold, like Arc Raiders. They had faith. They knew the product they were making was good. I'm sure every studio, including all these ones that failed, thought they had something great.
but
I'm betting there's a lot of studios. Like, do you think the guys that made Power World thought they were making that next big thing? They were just fucking throwing together a game for the jokes, and it turned out to be one of the biggest games of the year.
Yeah, but that's,
they didn't expect that. to
No,
happen.
but I think that's
Nobody can predict this market.
But
Nobody can.
but I think you're talking about Power World. Everybody's been dying for a good Pokemon game, which is kind of essentially what
It's
they
not
made.
a Pokemon game. It's just
Chris,
you got pals
it's-
with guns.
Chris,
Like,
it's
Pokemon with guns.
It's Pokemon with guns.
It's a base builder. It's
It's a base
Valheim.
builder with
It's-
Pokemon with guns. Like that is that's why Nintendo
Okay.
came at them so hard and wanted to sue them. It's Pokemon. Like some of the Pokemon are exact copies of the skins of the other Pokemon.
Okay, they look like Pokemon, but it doesn't
But
play like a Pokemon
everybody
game.
wanted
It doesn't
this-
play like any Pokemon.
But everybody wanted like your Pokemon Pal game to step it up to be the next level, which the Pokemon company wasn't doing. What I mean to say is nobody wanted a hero shooter that was just bigger and emptier, but now you have horses. Like that's what I'm saying is that Power World had a chance to be successful because there's a market out there that wanted a Pokemon game that wasn't shitty Pokemon. Nobody was asking for a new hero shooter with bigger maps and nothing to do. No one was asking for that.
I definitely wasn't.
I think people are looking for like because
If they were, some of these would have been more successful than
no,
they were.
I think it's just maybe waiting for the right one. But I think people still do want like the hero shooter.
What do you mean?
I don't know, like
Like
a good one,
Valorant
like fucking Team
or-
Fortress 3, or like Had they, well, Overwatch is actually going through a bit of a revival right now.
Which one? 1 or 2?
No, they
Two-
took.
well,
they took the 2 off.
They took the 2 off. It's back to just Overwatch.
Yeah.
Oh,
And they rebranded.
fantastic.
They went back to 6 players. Now they're like, you can also level them up and like put in new skills. Completely like revamp the game. It's supposed to be fucking phenomenal. I don't know. Can't judge it because I also haven't played it. But the first Overwatch
That's definitely
was,
not the games that I go for. So
the first Overwatch was one of the greatest games of all time, I think.
I'm definitely an armchair philosopher on this one.
No, that's a-okay. My final point in it is that we have moved too far away from what I thought made games great, and this is a personal opinion entirely, which is a narrative, character-based story in a beautiful new different world, and it's why I got into gaming. It's why I think Expedition 33 broke all the records of everything. But these were the games
That's
that got
why
me
hero
into-
shooters are better, though, because they provide them the opportunity to introduce characters with awesome narrative-driven backstories.
But they don't
They
tell
don't-
stories.
They don't tell story. It's a
It's
hero
just-
shooter. It's
you
not
just-
it's not a narrative
They
game.
wanted to do that with Concord. Like, there was a concept to do
Yes,
that.
no. But the game has to be good, Chris, and the game wasn't.
I know. Well, I don't know. I didn't play Concord, but
I don't. I think that some games, I don't know how to predict it, but some games have this je ne sais quoi that people just gravitate to them. Arc Raiders or
Arc Raiders had this thing where it was a looter shooter or
it was a social sandbox that
It
people
was,
haven't
yeah.
really experienced.
Yeah.
And
before.
again, I don't know why this one worked and Concord didn't, and I don't know
because it's a
if-
good game. That's what I mean. At the core, like if you play Arc Raiders, the PvP in it's exciting. The looting is exciting. It's tense. It's a fun game to play. Highguard for me, I was on the back of that horse, running around to mine some shit. I don't even know why I was mining the shit, and I was like, eventually it opens up and the other team were able to attack and you go find the sword, and I'm like, I'm bored. I'm really, really bored playing this game. And it's not that I came in with a bad. I got on to be like, oh, Highguard, the big announcement of the. I want to see what this is all about. And I'm like, this is a really boring game. Concord wasn't it? Like, great ideas, pumped loads of money into this budget of a great storyline and animated series for these characters, but no one enjoyed the game itself. The game wasn't fun to play.
That's true.
Well,
Did you
it
play it? Like, I don't
No,
know.
no.
Well, games fail for a reason.
Yeah.
I think Concord's failure was actually just bad character design. People saw it and just like,
No, I mean, like it played
I'm
it, but that no one
was
got
it
on
bad
board.
gameplay?
I mean, it was rated really negatively, and they closed it down after 2 months. So it must have
Because
been
the internet's a hate mob.
To a degree, but I don't like. I mean, there's also games that are might get a bad shade at the beginning, but if the game is good, they'll turn it around. But you have to have a good game for people to get involved. I don't think people. I mean, there are people that are as shallow as enough to do that, but I think Concord was as a hero shooter game, not a good quality hero shooter game. Oh, it's flashy as fuck. We've got animated stuff coming out every weekend for you to follow the story of this Guardians of the Galaxy crew, but enjoy this kind of mediocre hero shooter in the meantime.
And it's a shame because if they really believed in their product and if it was, like Chris saying, is quite good or whatever, I can't really follow your point anymore. Any of yours.
Mine is don't make hero shooters. It's too full.
It's
Go
a
make
shame
something else.
when a company really believes in a project and a project fails. It's not a shame when a company is trying to capitalize on a trend and then fails. Then I don't care.
And lots of the most recent hero shooters have been a capitalization of big companies trying to make money.
And that's my point.
Yep.
That
Okay.
if you start your fiscal year and say we want 12 hero shooter games or 12 MMO games to come out this year, then you're not doing it for the love of the game. You're doing it for the love of the money because you are hoping that enough people will come in and buy the skins and buy the weapons and buy the win, whatever.
Yeah.
And again, I think maybe that's why Arc Raiders, maybe that's why Helldivers succeeded, because it was a project of love,
Yeah,
People,
and again, it's different. It's a game that feels a bit different. It's a game that plays a bit different. It's not a copy and paste thing of something that already exists. Only it's worse than that. It plays worse.
and again, just caveat here: I've never played any of these games. That's not what I go for. Nothing, definitely not. But it's just I hate thinking that good companies, good development studios are being ousted because you have to meet that 12 game quota of MMO.
Yeah, or it has to be unreasonable expectations in terms of profitability and everything.
Chris
like
has some more numbers for us.
Yeah. So Concord peaked at 697 concurrent players on Steam.
For how long?
700 people.
1,000.
No,
Oh.
700 people. So the fact that you're saying it failed because the gameplay sucked those numbers tell me that nobody actually even tried to play it. They looked at it and said no.
No, do you know why no one tried to play it? Because it costs like fucking 60 quid as a hero shooter, which it shouldn't have. Because if it's like,
but
hey,
your
here's the
argument
battle
was
pass,
it
here's the
doesn't-
you're gonna. It's like this is the thing, Chris. I
You argued that it didn't play well.
but it didn't.
No,
People didn't like
nobody
it.
played it.
I'm so excited to be here for this.
Nobody played it.
Fair enough. The people who did play it say it didn't play well. And on top of that, you're asking people, and this is what I mean about Concord wasn't for the love of hero shooters. It was a money grab, which is the problem with it. You're going into a saturated market to try and make more money, not because you want to make this game. And Concord was that exact thing. You're talking about a hero shooter with a battle pass you'll have to pay for, a season pass you'll have to pay for, and the game's 40 or 60 quid to begin with anyway. The reason it didn't have people buying it was like, well, why would I pay money on a thing that should be free and I'll pay for the battle passes? And those who did, unfortunately, go in and pay their 40 or 60 quid, whatever it cost initially, were like, this isn't worth the money. This is not a great game.
Did they get their money back after
I'm
it
not
shut
sure.
down in
I
2
think
weeks?
I think they refunded.
Okay.
Yeah, I hope so. I don't
Yeah,
know
I
for
hope so
sure,
too.
but yeah. That's we are pushing time. There's one last article which I won't actually read out. It's a long enough article, but basically, guys, we are getting Monster Hunter Wilds Iceborne sized expansion this summer. How exciting is that?
Whoa.
Not very. I still
So
haven't played Wilds.
Do they still have the dogs?
No,
No,
they're
they've got-
chickens now.
damn
They're
it.
chickens.
No, with the chickens now, but they're fun. The chickens are fun. They're called secrets.
Secrets.
Yeah.
Because their head is full of secrets.
Yes, I think that's. Well, I don't know. There's
I
going-
really like the dogs from
Yeah,
Monster
it
Hunter
seems
Rise. And
crazy that they just abandoned the Palamutes. Palamutes, right?
Palamuts, yeah.
And I remember either it was here or we talked about it somewhere else, and Craig said that the best thing about Monster Hunter, that now the dogs are canon and they're never going to go away, and we're going to have dogs now that we can ride. And they disappeared, and I'm so
The
sad.
next game.
The next game, but like they disappeared, but they were replaced by, I would say, something that was, what would you say?
Do you
a
ride the
better-
chicken?
You ride the chicken. So,
You
so
are
they
not-
basically
you're
introduced the
not
chocobo?
going- yeah.
Oh, yeah,
you're not
100%.
going to tell
Okay.
me that the chicken's better than the dog.
no, I mean in
I
terms
will
of
fight you.
no. I think the dog looked cooler, but I think in terms of versatility. So in Monster Hunter Wilds,
Because they can like flutter and stuff. Right?
well, they hover a little bit when you jump off things, but also they carry a second weapon for you and
they
stuff like
could
that.
have added that to the dog, though.
I was about to say that's not very realistic, but we're talking about a Monster Hunter game. None of it's realistic, so why would I go
Add
with
it-
that?
Can't you add like wings to the dog? Like he's
we could
he's a
probably do that.
paraglider or
Yeah.
something.
They
Come on,
just-
there's
they-
so many ways.
Yeah. Now listen, if you haven't played it, Palamutes were great. Secrets are I think I wouldn't say just as good, but they're also great. I think that I'd prefer the dogs, but I've got no bones to pick with the
Did you
chickens.
play Monster Hunter Wilds?
no.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, we're the wrong people to have this discussion
The
with.
game
Darren.
was
I'll play it when it's like
finished.
$20.
Finished.
I can't get into those type of games. I don't know why. It's just very stressful for me. I think I was here a year ago or something, and I said that if you are an introvert and you love Monster Hunter, you should play Dragon's Dogma 2. I really enjoyed that one.
Oh yeah. The second
I
one.
really, really enjoyed that one.
That one was, I think it was really cheap on PlayStation Store for a while. I was hovering over it for a bit. To be
You
like,
should. It's fantastic. I
I love
loved
the
it.
first one. I was a
loved
big
it.
fan of the first one.
I played the first one, but I was like, oh, this is kind of repetitive. But the second one, whoa,
Nice.
this is what I love. And again, Monster Hunter, very Monster Hunter-ish style fights break out all of a sudden. It's really fun.
Okay, yeah, I could get in behind that. I just hope my only hope for this is that the expansion when it releases makes the game difficult. The one problem with Monster Hunter Wilds, way too easy. Not a fun, nearly as fun as the Monster Hunter World. Not as fun as that game at all, or Iceborne.
Or
So
Rise,
we'll hopefully see it come out and it'll make the game harder. which I think
Iceborne
it
had
needs to be.
some wild like spikes in difficulty.
Yes, which this game desperately needs.
Yeah.
So hopefully this new expansion this summer will make the game much harder, which I think for the diehard fans will be a much more enjoyable game. But that's it, gentlemen. We'll leave it there because we're kind of over time for episode as we would usually be. But it's listen, it's great. Daniel, it was so good to have you on this episode. Chris, thank you as always and forever for your input. We will be going on to a post show where we will talk about 2XKO. PlayStation and PC, and the last story, let me just scroll up here because I've forgotten that we'll be discussing, is a Chrono Trigger remake.
Dope.
Gasp. But that's all to come. Check
I
out.
hope it's a remaster, not a remake.
Okay.
Oh, you want a remaster, not a remake? Okay.
Well, if you
pause.
if
Let's
you wanna
for
know.
the cup of coffee, Patreon.
yeah. If you want to check out the post show, check out patreon.com/the gift of gaming. And to our listeners, as always and forever, keep enjoying the gift that is gaming. Peace.
Bye.
Cheers.